Winning feels pretty good, I think. Losing kind of sucks.
TSM has always been #1 in North America. Why not just continue that trend?
TSM moves on to the finals with a resounding Game 3 victory.
I feel like we'd go down in history if we did beat TSM.
Falling over, the champions are falling over. Good Game University are into the finals against Team Solo Mid.
There is no top 4 or bottom 4. You're either first or last.
I mean, if we beat every other seed, you can definitely beat the first seed.
In the game! In the game! Yeah!
Yes, it is very important for TSM to say we're back on top.
We're in like the final spot now. We want to get first place.
We're practicing really hard right now, and it would just mean a lot to just regain that dominance that we had before. It's been #1.
That's how the Cinderella story works. You just work your way up. The team nobody expected to win, the last place team nobody cared about, suddenly they're the best team in that LCS.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final day of the North American LCS Spring Playoffs. I'm David Freak Turley alongside Jungle Superstar Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler. Today is the day. After 10 weeks of battles and 2 days of intense playoff action, we'll be crowning our first ever North American LCS Spring Split champion. Of course, Championship Sunday kicked off earlier today in Europe with Evil Geniuses beating SK Gaming for 3rd place, and in the championship game, it was Fnatic defeating Gambit in an epic Game 5 for the European title.
That was such a great matchup, so close going the full 5 games there. Congratulations to the first ever European LCS champion, Fnatic.
All right, so before we get into today's finale, though, we've got to talk about yesterday's epic action. Both semifinal matches went down to the wire, and in an unbelievable turn of events, GGU pulled off the upset of the year when they took down Curse and earned their shot at the North American Championship.
GGU has really had a miracle run. They were at the bottom of the LCS standings most of the season, and now they're one of the top 2 teams, having beat Dignitas and Curse in the playoffs. Meanwhile, TSM have been one of the best teams in North America for the second half of this season, and they proved it again yesterday by beating a very tough Vulcan team.
Now let's take a look back at the key plays that launched TSM and GGU into the championship game. The first game of the semifinals featured the underdog Vulcan, fresh off their upset win over CLG, taking on the #1 team in North America, TSM. Team Solo Mid overwhelmed the underdogs.
TSM looks to clean this fight up. Dyrus stuck in Cataclysm will go down eventually. The crescendo, the feast, the double kill for Wild Turtle, the positioning for TSM.
And they cruised to an easy Game 1 win.
There's the flash from Reggie.
He's exhausted. Zuna can't even get his ultimate off on this when he goes to turn around for bullet time. The Cataclysm locks up the team, but it's not going to be enough.
They crushed Vulcan essentially in this first one. TSM just kicked it into high gear, as planned for them.
Vulcan turned things around in Game 2, picking up 3 early kills to snowball the game in their favor.
No mana for Reginald as he flashes in. He wanted that blue. The Requiem, though, is what he wanted, but it's not going to be enough. This calculated Xmithy goes in on the Q. The resonating strike hits. Wild Turtle on the backside. There's the bait you're talking about. He throws on, but he gets the fire arcane barrage shot in. 3 kills for nothing on TSM.
That lead allowed Mandatory Cloud to pick up a quadra kill with Jace.
ManCloud takes another one down. They drop it special as well. Bloodwater is on the bottom side. The quadra kill for Mandatory Cloud and the ace against TSM. Game 3, Vulcan says we want it. They're going to push it against Team Solo Mid. They take them down. We are going to see a 3rd game in this series.
Vulcan took an early lead in the 3rd and final game to decide who would go to the finals.
They're going to keep turning this one around. The Ignite is first blood for Mandatory Cloud. If they want to get us, this is definitely the way.
Vulcan tried to push their advantage top, but Reginald's Diana was there for the counter.
Here comes actually Reginald from the backside out of the darkness takes down ManCloud before he can even take a breath.
And TSM would follow their leader to victory.
Still can't even get Infinity Edge, and Reggie goes
in. He doesn't have much mana, so it's going to be a long fight with auto attacks for these guys, but they pick up the one they want.
Team Solo Mid secure the win and advance to the Spring Split Finals.
It's all on the Wild Turtle. They get the crescendo back across. They had a good initiation for a second, but Team Solo Mid has made Vulcan fold their hand. Best of 3 playing in favor of the veterans.
TSM moves on to the finals with a resounding Game 3 victory. They want first place in this one, the $50,000 tomorrow.
We did what we wanted to do. We fell short the second game, but overall we finally came out on the end, blue side OP.
In the match to determine who would face TSM in the finals, another underdog team, the 6th seeded Good Game University, took on the heavy favorite Curse.
While many thought all eyes would be on Curse's new support Rux, it was Zion Spartan's Tryndamere drawing all of the attention.
Great knockback by Void puts Zion back into turret range. Shock Blast comes by as well. This is not good for the Tryndamere. He's ghosting away. Flash comes out from Void. Ult pop by Zion. Puts Ignite on as well. Will be enough to kill up Void. Goes in. Oh my gosh! Zion Spartan just mans it up. Picks the kill up 1v1.
GGU man-moded their way to another surprise victory, and they steal Game 1 to push Curse to the brink of elimination.
There's a flash pull in on Jackie down to half health. Oh my god, he just blows up right there, and now it's Rux's turn to die as well. On the fountain, double kill Zion Spartan. Good game University with a top lane Tryndamere 1-0 against Curse.
Fighting to make it to the finals, both teams slugged it out in an epic back-and-forth 60-minute game. And it was Curse staying alive, winning an insane 4v5 to even the series at 1 game apiece.
Saint getting dropped down. Nijaki comes in. Mashpee is still alive. Zone comes across. They find 1 kill. Cop 1v1 against Mashpee. Cop wins the fight. That is an ace for Curse. They're going to move in towards the base. Guys, we're going into Game 3.
As with every other game in the spring playoffs, the series would come down to the third and final game. Curse took control, and it looked like the veterans were well on their way to the win and the finals.
Boy, pops a slicing Maelstrom, Nintendo not in a good place. There's the bounce, and they find the kill right there. Great counter engage by Curse.
But fatal mistakes cost them the match. Daydreamin' got a hook onto Saint Vicious to start a hectic brawl.
Go right in onto Saint. He's of course popped, let's bounce, trying to get away. Looks like he actually will survive that encounter.
Kill Oracle.
I'm flash ulting.
I ulted, I can't see.
I got a flash.
Kill the blobs,
kill these blobs.
I can red card. Oh, I'm out. Oh no, wow.
Whatever. Yo, Mashpee's going half.
Yo, I can get void. Turn on.
I got him.
He cleansed.
Try to move.
You got him.
One more though.
Oh god. Oh my god. So bad.
Jinte shows up! He's gonna try to find Rux as well! There's Nintendo! Rux with Oracles will lose an extra 400 gold by falling over like this. 4 for 2! GGU wins that battle.
Good Game University continue their Cinderella run, and with upsets over Dignitas and Curse, they earn a spot in the Spring Split Finals.
They burst him so low, Ezreal comes by as well. The flat ult, Jackie will fall over, they find 1. Here they go, Zion Spartan under fire. GGU putting on a clinic, taking them to school. The turrets are falling over, the champions are falling over. Good Game University are into the finals against Team Solo Mid. So you guys are now a top 2 team in North America.
Yeah.
Has that even sunk in at all?
Not at all. People think we're bad, and I think we're bad, but after this, it's just like, damn.
And thanks to their huge wins yesterday, top-seeded team Solo Mid and the ultimate team Cinderella story, Good Game University, will battle it out in a best-of-5 series for the first ever LCS Spring title and $50,000. And in our first game today, Curse will take on Vulcan for 3rd place and $15,000.
And of course, you can predict who you think are going to win today's matches at lolesports.com. Just click on the matches at the top right, open the finals tab, and cast your vote.
And after you guys vote for who you think is going to win the Spring Split title, head over to Twitter and let us know something else. Who do you think will be the Spring Playoff Championship Series MVP and why?
You hit us up on Twitter at LOLesports and be sure to use the hashtag LCS. We'll be reading the best answers live on air before the championship game.
All right, we've got to take a quick break, but when we return, it's the battle of 3rd place and $15,000. Curse versus Vulcan. North American LCS Championship Sunday will be right back in a flash. Welcome back, everybody, to the North American LCS Spring Championship Sunday. It's time for our third place fight, Curse versus Vulcan. Coming into this match, these teams have been heading in completely opposite directions. Since the addition of Bloodwater on support, Vulcan have been stepping up their game. They went 4-1 in Week 10. They knocked off CLG in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, Vulcan are a late game team. They've always been that, and with the addition of Bloodwater, it's really been key because he's a shot caller and he feels really confident in the late game. They're always looking to take these games the distance here. He's also he always chooses a late game team comp for the team. Like they have Zuna on that Tristana, and they build a lot of global pressure to help him out with that.
Alrighty, but on the other hand, Curse has struggled over the last couple of weeks. They went 2-6, they dropped from first place, and now they're kind of fighting to not be forever fourth again.
Yeah, Curse, they're trying to find some sort of spark after slumping in that Super Week. They thought they could find it with switching out elements and bringing in Rux as a new support, but he doesn't quite give them the boost that they were looking for. But they've had plenty of other problems as well with the team, and they fell to a red-hot GGU. They have had success against Vulcan in the past, though. They are 3 for 4 of the games so far against Vulcan.
Okay, but however, Vulcan smells blood in the water, and they're ready to take a bite out of Curse's new bot lane.
Since Curse lost to GGU, their morale is really down right now. They just had a player swap too, so we'll just ride the momentum and take them out.
Maybe their bot lane will be the weak point now, so we have to decide whether we want to send our jungler there to take advantage of that or just beat them in a 2v2 and then have our jungler support either of the solo lanes.
To beat Curse, we just have to have a really solid play and take advantage of their bot lane since it's pretty new.
We lost, but however, we still need to win. For the fans, for ourselves, for everyone.
But I think we can do it. Like we always do good against Vulcan, so I think we'll be okay. We want to win. We want to give the fans a good show because we definitely feel like we've let a lot of people down, and we don't want to leave. We don't want to finish out the LCS feeling like that.
Well, now we've heard from the teams, and hopefully Curse doesn't let down their fans. But it's time to check out today's starting lineups. With the blue health bars today, it'll be Curse starting off in Game 1. Voyboy in the top, St. Vicious in the jungle, Nijaki in mid, Cop their AD carry, and Rux still that starting support.
And beginning on the red side, it's Vulcan. Psycho Sid is up top, Smithy's in the jungle, Mandatory Cloud at middle, Zuna on AD, and Bloodwater as support.
And this series' AD carry battle is our featured matchup. It's Curse's Cop and Vulcan's Zuna.
These are two very iconic AD carries. They just they can be described by their favorite AD carries, the Tristana for Zuna. He loves that late game 6-item hyper carry, and Cop with his Misfortune. Loves staying in the back, very patient style of play, cleaning up after fights. And these guys, they're so good at their favorite champions that we probably won't see them on those, and they might use their second string champions, which would probably be the Kog'Maw for Zuna and that Varus for Cop.
So we'll see that. But before we get into Champion Select, we want to check out what you guys think who's going to win this match. According to LOLesports.com, 65% of you think that Curse will come out on top and take the third place title.
So the online voters have come back a little bit from the favorites here. It used to be the 80%, then down to 75. Now we're at 65 for the favorites. So they've learned their lesson about upsets, I think.
And that wasn't even a number you would have expected in the middle of the season either. Certainly these teams have been improving and catching up a heck of a lot. Of course, these guys are ready to go. Champion Select just getting underway. Once again, Curse on the blue side, Vulcan in red and or pretty pink, whatever colors you want to think they are. And they're going away. Look at that. Trist MF right off there.
So both those AD carries gonna get burned out. Like I said, the Kog'Maw and the Varus are usually the second string AD carries that both of these guys are gonna go with. They've pretty much moved on with the bans here to the mid lane, taking out TF and Diana. So we'll probably be seeing those second strings come in.
And a really surprising turn of events, though, that Nocturne ban getting removed. I mean, you saw sort of the battle that Curse and GGU had in the last two games. Saint brings it out, surprised everybody. Then Nintendo's like, guys, you know what? You're right. Nocturne's really... And you're seeing they have to ban it out away from Curse.
Yeah, and they've taken one part away of that really lethal combination of Nocturne plus Shen, instant diving to the back line. They felt like they're just going to leave Shen on the board here, and the key component to that was Nocturne. So it's going to be interesting to see if one of the teams actually still want that global presence of Shen, ended up picking it up, because like we said, these top laners, they do like to brawl.
I was actually going to ask you about that. You know, the global pressure still is there. Karthus, going to ask you about that. Of course, it seems like Nijek, wants that for himself. Shen, we've seen it really on both these guys. What do you think?
Yeah, there we go. He's passing over it already. Psycho Sid going to pick that one up. So they've learned their lesson here. Karthus has made his resurgence, and he's won a lot of games in the North American LCS. So that was a good first pick. Trying to answer that back with some global of their own with that Shen pickup, and the all-important Sona. That's one of Bloodwater's favorites. He can just change an entire game with a crescendo.
You know what's interesting about this, though, is it's funny comparing the teams because Thresh, neither team's picked it up, neither team's banned it.
Yeah, it's still up here, and that is something that Rux does play. Rux is the new support here for Curse, and so he's kind of new on any support, and if you take away Sona, might as well go with a game changer like Thresh.
Okay, so we've seen the rest of the picks come in here for Curse, though. Elise and Jarvan, really, this is a pretty big who's who team of early picks.
Yeah, St. Vicious, it's no secret that he loves Jarvan the Fourth. The ganks, the early game pressure, he really likes to use that combination. He wasn't so successful with it yesterday, though. He actually got behind in CS and experience in the jungle versus Nintendo, so we'll have to see if he's actually going to be successful this time and can sneak his way through the defensive wards from Vulcan.
Right now they're making their own choices right here. Zed has been locked in. That'll be, to my memory, kind of a new one for this lineup here. I'm thinking in Draven, and I mean, we've been talking about like what Zuna might pick when Triss is banned, and he is going to play Draven.
Yeah, he's going to just switch it up completely here. This is definitely going to catch Curse off guard. They don't expect a Draven from a Vulcan team that could actually... They could still solo a Draven and have a jungle Shen if they wanted to.
This reminds me of Week 10, though. Week 10, these teams played, and Zuna says his Shen is amazing, and ManCloud only plays Draven if he ever plays AD carry.
So this was that game where people were giving them a lot of criticism, but they were actually trying out legitimate strategies. Like, this is something that they have done before. Mandatory Cloud, the only AD carry that he does play, he says, is Draven. So he's very much at home on that champion, and this could be a bit of a mind game here where they have the Zed along with the Draven pick, and they're trying to trick them.
Well, speaking of tricks, though, Curse have picked up a real top laner this time around with Renekton, so they're sending Rux on support. Elise, you mentioned him playing a playmaker in the support role. It looks like he's going to be taking Elise here. Curse have picked up their whole lineup.
Yeah, Daydreamin' especially comes to mind when I see support Elise's. It's one of the supports that could pick up so many kills because she has that execute ability, and that can sometimes be really good for your team. But if that's the only person who's getting all the money, then that's not exactly how you want things to turn out.
Not necessarily. So now it's time for their final pickup here. Of course, they do have plenty of champions already in their lineup. A lot of these are ambiguous. You can have Zed or Shen playing a couple of different roles. They're looking right now at Xerath.
So that is, when they did the role switch, the Xerath was the mid that they picked for Smithy, because that's what he uses in solo queue whenever he goes mid. But they're actually pulling out the Lux this time, and as the swaps are right now, they could be doing the role switch once again versus Curse when everything is on the line. This is actually for third place right now. This is money. This is a lot of money on the line here. So
look at the summoner spells.
Yes.
Sid's got Smite. Smithy's got Ignite.
This is a very, very serious switch here. They're trying to pull the same mind game that they did back in Week 10.
Wow. So here we go. I mean, we have Curse playing, what you would consider standard for them. Vulcan are swapping their roles around. The only team I know that does this as well is Invictus Gaming in China, where they will just swap people all around there. The jungler stays their jungler, but their AD carry player will take mid lane. They'll swap Zatai in for like AD Jace, and they just do all kinds of crazy stuff.
When you have Zatai on your team, like, that just opens up so many doors. You can switch him wherever he wants, because that guy literally plays every single champion. But as the time clicks down, this is the last second for switches, and Vulcan don't change anything. So that's going to be Smithy on Lux. We'll have to see where the lanes actually go, because they still could pull some more tricks with the lane swaps here. But right now, it is going to be Mandatory Cloud on Draven.
Okay, so let's see how good Psycho Sid's jungle Zed is, because they are switching their stuff around. So this will be a fun one, guys. Game 1 about to get underway. The third place match, your $15,000 best of 3. And no jokes aside, they're going for this one hardcore with changing their own lineup around. Maybe, you know, Curse had to change their lineup around. They put in Rux for elements, and Vulcan says, all right, we'll play this game too.
I love this tactic from Vulcan so much because they've been pigeonholed by everybody, including us, as that late game team, because these are the only types of AD carries that Zuna plays, the late game Tristana, the late game Kog'Maw. But they have another player who can play the lane bully AD carries. So if they want to go that route, then they can switch it up and go Draven, just the completely opposite direction here, and have mandatory Cloud run him.
Well, let's see how these guys play it out, and if Curse didn't scout out their early game strategies, or even late game strategies, I suppose, well enough, because we're into game 1 here, the third place showdown. Third place showdown, yes indeed. Best of 3 right here, 15 grand up for grabs, and Vulcan are on the move early on, pushing through the jungle.
All right, so they dropped off one ward to see if there was an invade from Curse going towards their race, too. So this is a protected invade here from Vulcan, and it doesn't look like Curse have anyone in the vicinity to actually come and go for a level 1 fight, because Renekton's up top here, and you never want to go into a level 1 fight with less people.
No, they don't. Now, Rux did make his way through the top jungle, though. They spotted him with a ward. They ping him out. They know where he went. And Rux has warded out into Vulcan's jungle. Actually, 2 different sides of the top jungle have been warded. The Wraith Brush as well as the Tri-Brush near the top. So a lot of vision is here for Curse. We'll see if they can do anything with it.
Yeah, both teams getting the all-important Wraith Ward down, so the jungle's movements are going to be a little bit easier to predict. This is just Psycho Sid back on his only jungler that he plays. That Zed is the exact same one he used back in week 10 as well. So to all the naysayers, they were actually prepping here for the third place match. As Voidboy and Jackie start off on the Wolves, they're going to share experience, and the rest of Curse are going for an invade.
Okay, this could be really, really interesting. They're right there by the double golems and by the red buff. Rux will start this off, but I don't think either Mancloud or Bloodwater will even be nearby there, because they're just grabbing their own stuff. So Curse off with very, very good early move. Jackie's getting his own blue buff. St. B's just grabbed red. So 2 buffs grabbed for Curse already. Just the blue for Vulcan right now.
So Saint didn't expect the blue start. They were actually banking on Vulcan going to be around red so they could catch somebody out. Zed doesn't have to have blue buff start because, you know, he's got no mana. It will help him a lot, though. The cooldowns and the energy regen is actually really important for him because he is he can burn through that energy extremely quickly.
So we're going to have to take a look at the matchups here, because actually more things have changed. Right now, Curse have sent actually Nijaki, that blue buff Karthus, to top lane, that 1 versus 2, and we'll see how well Draven Sona can shut him down. We know Karthus as that late game nightmare. In the mid lane, though, it's another sort of matchup here. The sort of AP mid Xmithie is actually holding true to his lane, also fighting a 2v1.
I like this adaptation by Curse because since Vulcan are doing the lane swap and they're being a bit tricky, they're trying to take them even more out of their comfort zone and saying, okay, yeah, you can play solo mid in solo queue, but we're going to send 2 people middle. That doesn't happen very often in solo queue, and it'll catch them a little bit more off guard.
So then you got to wonder, how much do they play this in scrims? How prepared are they when it comes to the big time, Vulcan in this sort of matchup?
We're also going to see Renekton trying to answer the global pressure of Shen with a teleport of his own. We'll have to see if Voidboy picks up those distortion boots very early, or if he just is going to rely on his stuns to try and stop the early Stand Uniteds from Shen.
We'll see how that happens as Zuna reaches toward level 6. Of course, they were just 1v1ing down at the bottom lane. We're right now watching to see if basically Xmithie can hold on to his own turret right here. He is under pressure right now. It is losing some health. That Caitlyn from Crop is really just wearing down both the turret and minions here. And oh, look at the damage onto Xmithie.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of inexperience there from not playing solo lanes that much. Usually he's in the jungle, and he takes a lot of damage there for the harass that he tried to pull off. Psycho Sid also sitting on a ward here, going to come in from the side as jungle and just get crushed.
But here comes Zuna as well. Is it going to be enough for them? They look for the grab onto Rux, but he's going to jump over toward Xmithie and just walks right back out of that one. Great play by Rux, dodges an ability, gets the other side.
I like what Curse have done. because Rex is a little bit newer to that support role, they put him on a champion that he's very comfortable on, a top lane champion, Elise. So his Elise play, pretty much flawless right there. Able to dodge the taunt with repel and gain distance with it, going over to Smithy. That was just beautiful play by Rux right there. And you can see how strong of a mechanical player he is. He's just on a much more comfortable champion.
So this is going to be a big factor for them then as Rux continues to play throughout this game. Expect to see him make a couple of good moves here. St. Vicious, though, joining up in the mid lane, happily pressing out on this turret. Look at that down below, 1/3 health right there. And Smithy even taking punishment while this is all going down. Curse looking great in this mid lane.
Psycho Sid has had to recall here, so there's not going to be support from the jungle to help out Smithy defending his turret, and it's taking a lot of damage very early here.
Oh, and they considered diving him on the mid turret as well. Rux did repel up, forcing Smithy back. They did not quite go for it. We're watching ManCloud still try to push Nyjackie in the top lane. They're not getting nearly as much pressure. Though look at that turret, basically at full health. So, you know, Jackie actually still has 33 minion kills as well. This lane swap seems to be going very, very well for Curse.
The 2vs1 Karthus seems to be really popular in North America. Jinte really popularized that one, and Curse wasting no time picking up for themselves as we see 4 members converge for Vulcan on this mid lane here. They do not want to let that tower go.
They are really, really trying to defend this. You are right, but it's left Nyjackie alone in the top lane, and you can see he's just pushing up, farming, about to crest 14 minions right now. Look at that, he is tied with his AD carry for minion kills. He's not been pressured really at all, it seems, this matchup.
He's doing a great job using that layaways to CS. Meanwhile, down bottom, since Zuna started with cloth armor and 5 potions, Voyboy could have called out to Saint, hey, this guy's got no wards, we can set up something. Renekton's a great lane champion to set up ganks as well, but there was no action down there. Saint has been focusing on the mid lane.
He has been indeed. And speaking of the mid lane, I want to point out what Mandatory Cloud is doing. He's actually run all crit chance red. He's got 8 crit chance here without a single item that helps it out. So he's just trying to spike people out in battles randomly. We'll see if that pans out successfully. So the mid lane now is kind of stagnated. We actually have seen the gold lead come back to equal here despite sort of all odds. So you know, some turret pressure was there, but the gold is equal. Let's take a look at the bottom lane, though. That's the one that we haven't really looked at very much. And Zuna has hit level 6 here against Voy.
Yeah, and he did start, like I said, with no wards, so that was just extra money all for laning, and he's done a really good job here on that Shen, getting a good CS lead. You pointed out the crit runes on Mandatory Cloud. I just want to say that's really effective on Draven. He's just trying to maximize the effect of Draven's passive, that Wicked Blades, which every time Draven deals a critical strike, he'll get 50 bonus physical damage over 4 seconds with that bleed. And that's when you get a lot of these fade-away Draven kills where he can just walk away and watch his enemies bleed to death.
Ooh, that's so gruesome, too. I was hoping you were going to end that with bleed to death. You know, just like imagine like the sheer glee on Draven's face. He's like... Anyway, moving on. Smithy chilling in this mid lane, happily pushing down minions. It's actually such a stark contrast, too, between Lux, who's so jovial, and Draven, who just wants nothing more than suffering from his opponents. And we're just seeing them move around the map as Curse look to put some more pressure. They've kept Jackie in the top lane. They're moving their dual lane back to the mid. They're happily keeping this exact setup.
Quick reactions from both teams. With all the mind games that have been going on, there's only been a small gold lead that's been eked out here from Curse. This switch, they've seen it before from Vulcan. It doesn't look like it caught them off guard too much.
They do seem to be holding up. Let's see, 500 gold only separates these teams. Not too big of a deficit overall. We'll see if they can keep that a little bit closer, or if Curse can actually grow that number over the course of this game. See Zuna and Voyboy again into a battle. That comparison specifically, 55 to 54, not much of a difference at all. Zuna can keep up with the best top laners in North America, it seems.
Yeah, he's pretty strong on that Shen. It's a very tanky champion, one that Hotshot likes as well. And since he's hit that level 7, he's got his Stand United available. And we always point out in this lane where there's 2 champions with globals that both have CC, means of interrupting, it's really going to be who's the one to make the first move, because the other one could then interrupt their global and join the party first.
That could be a fun one to watch out as they kind of get into the battle. Of course, we have the lovely picture-in-picture here for you. Whenever that does kind of show up, we'll be able to watch how that battle goes down in real time. But right now, we're seeing Vulcan really make their changes as Bloodwater is supporting Smithy here in the mid lane, making sure that that turret doesn't go anywhere.
So the newest change has actually resulted in a solo Draven level 6 versus a solo Karthus level 8. And Jackie, if he's able to land a wall, can actually burn down a Draven pretty quickly here. And Mandatory Cloud, no stranger to being in a solo lane there. He did land that the wall and uses exhaust, but he did get barrier and flash from Mandatory Cloud.
Oh, great pickup there by Jackie. And of course, as they would have it, ManCloud and Jackie are 1v1ing once again. They are happily playing that solo lane matchup against each other, just with a matchup you don't expect quite as much.
And you saw Jackie just get the jump on him right there. I was talking about the level advantage. That's actually the biggest difference between those two right now, as they are extremely close in CS.
Okay, but St. Vicious, though, is looking to make some moves at the bottom lane right here. Jumps across. I'm not sure if he got spotted. Void popped Ghost. That seems like a miscommunication there. Zuna is like, all right, well, bye, Saint, and no summoner. Great.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for them. Saint flag tossing into that bush. Kind of startled Voyboy right there. He popped his Ghost, but it looks like they're going to go for a Dragon off this one anyway. Jackie able to fend off these two up top. So the trade that we usually see, a top turret for a Dragon, not going to go down here.
Wow, so just a free Dragon right there. Excellent starting here by Curse. 1,000 gold lead thanks to the Dragon picked up. And they are in control. They're trying to make sure they're not the 4th place North American team that we see from them so often. Season 2 regional, 4th place team. Season 3 starts out. Start of the first place team, they want to make sure that they can at least drop to or keep 3rd here, and they're looking good so far.
They are looking very good. They've done a great job reacting to all the moves by Vulcan, and that Dragon does give them the gold lead, so they have it early. And if this team has it early, then it really bodes well, because they do have that strong late game presence. Karthus already stacking up to look like a late game beast.
He's going to be a whole bunch of trouble there for the Vulcan lineup as he scales throughout. First man to hit 100 minions in the game, and he started out in a 1 versus 2, so I got to give a lot of props to Jackie there for his early game plays. We're still watching Mandatory Cloud scale up on as Draven, and we haven't really seen Draven being able to bully many people this matchup. We normally consider him a bit of a lane bully.
Yeah, Mandatory Cloud maybe is a little rusty on that one. He had that time in the mid lane there, though. When he went solo, he started to fall behind a little bit, and you saw him burn both summoners. Here we go, Psycho Sid.
They are. Ooh, man, nice escape there from Cop. Nice stun from Rush, but it might just not be enough. He's ignited under the turret. Barrier goes off as well. That might just be enough for Cop, and he does not burn to death. Only 30 health left on him, but the escape does come out. Nice escape. Nice attempt by Vulcan.
There's that giant cooldown burn from Vulcan there. So even though Zuna was doing a good job in that lane, actually beating Voyboy solo and minions here, this gives Voyboy free time to farm up that bottom lane. He's already caught right back up, and he's getting damage on the turret as well.
That is good for them. You're seeing this turret actually looks like it's going to go down. First stone does go to Curse right here. And they've now got a 2,000 gold lead as Sid limps back. Well, actually, Sid just goes to the lane. Expected him to top lane against Voy. He's a jungler this time around. Limps to the lane and tries to keep his turret alive.
Oh, so that ward by Blue Bush, even though they were able to clear it out very quickly with the pink, it gave him a heads up.
All right, Sid has to flash, though. His shadow is not available. Exhausted. And here comes the Requiem as well. This might just be too much for him. And first blood does go to Jackie over in the top lane. Actually, in his own base, I should say, as Rux and Saint just retreat away.
Always nice to be able to throw that off from the base. He can instantly regen his mana too, just heading out to the field with even more money in his pockets. Looks like Mandatory Cloud got 1 more CS on him now, but that first blood definitely going to put him ahead. He finishes that Rod of Ages. Now Zuna taking a lot under the turret here.
Rux has destroyed the one, so 2-0 on turrets right now, and there's the knock up on Azuna. This could be bad. This will be the Shen falling. Looks like Rux cannot quite find the jump onto Smithy, but they've still picked up a lot of great advantages here. Curse 2-0 in kills, 2-0 in turrets. Might even go 2-0 in the series.
Yep, and they're going for a blue buff steal here. Saint is going to take that one away with the smite. And they have a long time to wait on a dragon, so they won't be rewarded with that one. But they've prepped it very nicely, already taking that bottom turret out and giving themselves that map control.
A beautiful job overall. Definitely a great opening for Curse. We're going to see them continue to make moves right here. As you mentioned, Dragon is down. There's not a lot of easy places to go. What does Curse do to continue their dominance?
The top lane actually would be a good point, because that's the only outer turret still standing. It's actually far enough away from Dragon, then they can draw Vulcan's attention up there and then make their move on Dragon in the next few minutes when it does arrive. St. Vicious going back to buy right now and prep for this.
Okay, so the preparation will be important on this overall. we're seeing Vulcan try to find somewhere to put pressure for themselves. Of course, the Shen ult still not available. That global pressure not quite there. However, this turret taking some damage, but Jackie wants to deal with this right now. Bloodwater's not going to like this very much. And here comes Rux. Mancloud taking a whole bunch of punishment. Crescendo comes across Mancloud, forced to run away, and Rux is just soloing him right now. Jackie flashes forward, but doesn't find anything for it. Psycho Sid shows up and says, hey, away from my team you go.
And Curse have focused on that top lane. They've sent 4 people up there now. Voidboy down in the bottom still has his teleport too, so he could join the fight at any time. Meanwhile, Zuna still has another 15 seconds on his Stand United.
So they did attempt the kill onto Rux, the whirling death, as well as the final spark did come out. Didn't quite land there. Smithy getting exhausted though against Jackie. Here comes the push in, knockup from St. Vicious. This will be another kill picked up. Jackie claims that one, 2-0 to the Karthus.
That's a very dangerous position for Smithy. Wandering down the river, full of wards right there, just gets caught out in the Baron. St. Vicious not hesitating to flash and follow that one back up. Now they have a kill advantage for the Dragon that's going to come up in another minute and 10 seconds. That'll be plenty of time for Smithy to get into position, but the top turret going to take a lot of damage before then.
Yeah, that kill lead certainly giving them a helping hand right here. The flag comes down. Attack speed to Cop and Saint, and this turret now dropped below half health. I don't see anyone even joining the fray in time to stop this one out. This will be now 3 turrets and 3 kills in Curse's favor.
Now that the top is gone and the top lane's going to continue to push, this is that perfect preparation for the Dragon that will spawn. Saint's already finished his first defensive aura item, that Locket of the Iron Solari, so they will be just fine in a team fight here as Jackie's Requiem has just come off cooldown as well.
Now that is going to be a fun one for that Curse lineup. But on Vulcan's side, I want to think about what they can do to bring this back. They're down 5,000 gold, but we've seen games with Shen split push to victory. Can Zuna do it?
He definitely can. He's got any lane he can go to still. He had a very good start. He's got 106 minion kills, so he's not too far behind. He's got that Sunfire cape, which is going to help him push just passively. Doesn't even have to look at the minion wave. He can focus on the action that's happening elsewhere, and it's probably going to be at that Dragon here as Saint starts it up.
And there we go, the beginning of damage. This poor Dragon is falling over, having nightmares of how many times he's been killed, and it just keeps throwing back up. And man, hard day work for the Dragon, but Psycho Sid's coming in. They're trying to put the pressure down. They find Rux, a whole bunch of damage. Final Spark comes by as well. Can they get the kill? The knockup's in there. Saint falls down. Here comes the rest of the battle. Jackie in the middle of the fray getting chunked down. Mancloud trying to get his revengeance, and he might just get it. Jackie running towards the Dragon. He falls over. A bunch of kills picked up there, but Voidboy does find one, but it's a triple kill there. He's going to fall over. The Requiem comes by. Shut down. There's so many picked up. No health bars left for Bloodwater. Cop and Zuna in a 1v1. It's going to be close. The Sunfire Cave is helping, but Cop is going to die down. Zuna now in a 1 versus 1 against Boy, trying to escape, puts a shield on, but this is a very, 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 very scary Renekton, and I don't think Zuna will escape the flames. Good pickup there for Voidboy.
This is why the Summoner Teleport is not the best answer here for a Shen Global. Voidboy, on the tankiest champion for Curse, comes in last, and they actually take a tremendous amount of damage before he even joins the fight there. Good thing they had Karthus though, because Jackie can still do damage after he's dead. Let's take a look at the replay from this fight so we can keep track of the chaos. The Shen Stand United gives the shield to Psycho Sid. He comes right in. That's a great AoE on both Saint and Rux. They just get exploded. Smithy gets a nice laser off there. Then he's able to catch down Rux too, and they actually do some more damage to the Dragon here, so they're able to finish that one off, and the Requiem gonna pop. That's gonna be the answer here. Voidboy, the only one that actually ends up surviving, but Cop does his best to try and put some damage here on Zuna, prep him up for the kill, and he will get an assist at least.
And in that battle as well, we did see that Sid had picked up the Dragon afterwards at the very end. He turned it around after he killed off Rux. He picked that. So Vulcan lose the fight by a kill, but pick up Dragon, which does, to my mind, actually equate to a gold advantage for that lineup. And so the game just a little bit closer now, below 5,000 gold. However, Curse still feel like they are dominant. This blue buff is going to go to them pretty easily right there. Jackie picked up the 71 gold and the mana regen and cooldown reduction for it, while Mandatory Cloud is getting the red buff.
Yeah, that Zed, he's great at finishing off things because his passive, if somebody's under 50%, then he does get that extra percentage damage on his hit. Plus Smite is a great combination to secure that kill. But like we said, the teleport, Summoner Teleport, you have to use that one really early if you are the tanky champion for your team, because you have to be there at the very beginning of the team fight, or else it's going to go bad for them, just like it did there.
And actually, we saw that from Jackie's Malphite back in their semifinal as well. A similar situation, that teleport didn't quite react for them. So now it's Curse's opportunity to maybe force their hand. No teleport is up for them, so they don't get to play the split push game quite as well. But instead, it seems like, you know, I'm just wrong. They're playing the split push game, and Voidboy's just fighting Zuna.
Voidboy's going to have to stay close to Zuna, which is actually fairly dangerous because after that last team fight, Zuna's pretty beefy, and he seems to be able to handle himself up here.
Okay, so that'll be a fun matchup to pay attention to. Right now, Void with a small level lead, 13-12. Keeping him a little bit ahead, and he's waiting in the shadows. Look at that, in the brush, seeing if Zuna's going to come by, but Zuna actually runs because St. Fish is looking for him, jumps across the wall, there's a slow. Zuna just gets a little bit of healing and starts running backwards and says, look guys, you can't fight me, I'm a Shen, I'm going to run away.
Yeah, good job by Zuna. Sidesteps that knock-up, then does get that tiny amount of healing from his Vorpal Blade that he just pops on St. Vicious. Saint making a little detour here right through the jungle though, and they're looking for Smithy.
He's been a little bit surrounded. Here comes the jump up, the knockback. He's going to try to jump away from this one, but here comes Shen, here comes Requiem. So much pain coming across. Smithy does live for now, but oh, he gets crushed down, and now Zuna's in the center of attention. He might just fall as well. Double kill picked up, Crescendo for Bloodwater, but they don't have the follow-up damage. They don't have Zed. He's actually pushing in the bottom lane. He finds a turret, but it's a turret for 2 deaths. It's not the best thing here for Vulcan.
A turret for 2 deaths, and Voidboy St. Vicious, they both get out alive, so they're going to be going back to heal, and they're going to try and stop Sid's push down here on the secondary turret, while the rest of Curse are putting pressure on the middle.
This is going to lose a lot of health right now. It's basically 2 versus 3, and it's looking happy for this Curse lineup. We're watching Sid pushing the bottom lane, but he has 2 friends coming in the next 3 seconds, and he might just have to leave. His minions run out. He gets away with the Shadow, but Curse, they do get that turret kill. Another pickup for them.
That was a really good trade there for Curse. They got the secondary turret as well. St. Vicious even chasing off Sid from his double golems here. Now they can regroup. He's working on his Aegis of the Legion too, so once they finish that, he'll really have that team fighting combo of both of those AoE defensive items.
That will be good for them. So walk me through the defensive items, because I look at Zed, right, and he's just pure damage. Is that a huge loss? You don't have any auras in the team?
Well, we actually seen that a lot lately. The junglers, Smithy's a big fan of doing that one too, just getting the Hex Drinker for yourself. You definitely do. Of course, you lose out on those extra stats for the rest of your team, but you gain that really important shield that will protect you from a Requiem, which is very dangerous coming from an extremely fed Jackie that just picked up a death cap at 2145.
So very, very farm Karthus. Scary force to behold. 8.7 thousand gold. Yeah, he's kind of rich right now. He's having a good game for himself. So Jackie's a huge menace. To me, then, that screams like, hey, Vulcan, rush a Bulwark. Do they even have the opportunity to deal with Jackie in this game?
It's a little late now, since he did go with that Hex Drinker into Bloodthirster. Psycho Sid is going with that carry jungler build here. Not really team-oriented. And the rest of the... Oh, St. Vicious going to initiate, though.
They are going pretty hard. Look at that. Gets the Cataclysm down. So much pressure off on a Bloodwater. He's going to fall over. Final Spark comes across. So does the Whirling Death. But again, they haven't quite found a way to turn this battle back around. Curse find a 1-for-0 and get away safe.
That was 2 seconds left on Bloodwater's Crescendo. They killed him right before that thing came back up. So great timing by Curse right there. And it's also prepping them once again for the next Dragon Spawn.
That is going to be in just 7 seconds. They will have that pretty easily. Curse clears out the mid lane. 3 seconds on that. And Vulcan, they are making their way over. Maybe these guys have it timed.
They're looking to try and get it before Curse can get back from healing. But there's no time for them. Bloodwater's got to float his way on down here, and they're just going to try and poke Curse and keep them from just all-inning this dragon so that they can buy time for Bloodwater to get there.
He looks to find some poke down. Jackie does the same on the other side, though. I think it's a bit of damage from Elusive Singularity, but it is Curse who have control over this area. They're going to move on in. There is Zed. A lot of damage. Psycho Sid puts the ult on. Sid's trying to get away. He does make it out, but no one is falling to the other side. Zuna finds a nice taunt. Jackie's losing health. He gets the Crescendo. That is a shutdown picked up, but here comes the Requiem. This could be bad. Mancloud's going to fall over. Rux gets the kill, and he's still chasing. One against the world. Caitlyn ult comes across and hurts Zuna. It's okay, the battle was done anyway. Ace in the hole.
They, again, focused Jackie. Jackie the first one down. That Karthus still able to pull off his Requiem when he's dead thanks to his passive. And their answer back with 1 kill. Very lucky for Psycho Sid there that he didn't go down too. Some nice healing work there done. And it looks like the Hex Drinker did come off.
did help him a little bit in that one. Now, we're looking at Curse just re-up their pressure on the Dragon, though. And they traded 1 kill for 1 kill. It's a little bit good for Vulcan because of the shutdown, but Dragon shoots them right back ahead. And look at the gold now. Curse 38,000, Vulcan only 31. This lead is growing for the blue team.
It is growing indeed. That's going to be a big one because, like we said, so much of this money going on to Jackie, who can deal his damage no matter what. Even though they're focusing him first, he's still getting it off and still making them pay for that. Each member looks like they're trying to get their own little form of magic resist here, even a Wit's End that we rarely see in Season 3 being picked up by Zuna on that Shen.
And that is going to be pretty big overall, of course. Actually, yeah, that is just so interesting that we don't see that very often in the slightest. So certainly a lot of, you know, piecemeal magic resist itemization coming through versus the pretty standard setup here for guys like Saint. I don't know, I'm looking at these guys and I just see rich people on Curse and almost better itemization with the auras.
Yeah, it seems like the Vulcan itemization a little bit selfish here. They've gone to solo queue mentality with their solo queue switch up, changing the roles, and everybody's looks like they're trying to carry it for themselves here. The Wit's End, it used to be really popular on those Shens because it does, every time you attack a minion or a champion, it reduces 1 second off of that passive key strike that he gets with the extra little burst of damage and energy.
Maybe it'll just be enough for him to actually bring down some force in this top lane. Of course, they're sending Voyboy right now. Again, Curse sending him to deal with that 1 versus 1, and it seems that Zuna's giving him a little bit of respect there, but Mandatory Cloud and Jackie are just farming on their respective sides of the map, scaling themselves up, and it seems like the mentality here for Vulcan is almost the same as before. It's Mandatory Cloud taking a whole bunch of farm and being first place in gold in his team.
Yeah, even though he is on Draven with no escapes, still trying to farm his very best here, and he's doing a pretty good job. At least he's got the most on his team. You just really can't get a Karthus under control after he gets a start like that, though. Jackie is just run off with this game right now, and he's just leagues ahead. The Oracles getting picked up for Curse is going to be huge. They're already putting that pressure of the vision denial around Baron.
Wow, and that is going to be really important. I mean, we've seen so many of these games, especially the Game 3 really between Curse and GGU, where vision denial around Baron basically meant everything. How does Vulcan get themselves back into this vision game?
All right, so we saw Psycho Sid pick up that Dragon in the convoluted team fight that went down around there. If he could steal a Baron, that would be a nice step on the road back to victory for Vulcan here. So they might be just like GGU and just hope their jungler can steal away a desperate Baron here from Curse. But Curse, they don't have to do a Baron. They can just push another side lane here as they have Voyboy down bottom. His teleport's going to come up pretty soon, and he's able to go heads up versus this Shen now. He's feeling pretty confident with that one. The rest of the team, they have enough poke damage and enough sustained damage from that Karthus that they can shove a lane and just siege up.
So that is where the goal will be for them then. Right now it's Sid being, not Sid, sorry, I just saw a Shen and assumed it's Zuna being sent over to the right-hand side to deal with that split push Voyboy. There we see Sid and Mancloud over in the mid. Voy is actually running away from Zuna, so credit to him. He actually is putting a bit of pressure right here. Look at the Baron aggro really trying to dance Rux away, but Rux escapes with a repel. And they are playing this Baron dance while kind of the side lanes, like scraps of farm being picked up on the sides.
And Zuna actually still getting the better of Voyboy down here. He's able to chase him off the lane, stop the split push from this Renekton, and it looks like Shen, with that Wit's End, he can actually take him 1 versus 1.
Wow, so great pickups, and these solo queue items actually, I guess in this point, are helping, but looks like Curse instead, so you know what, screw it, team fights for us, and a Curse team fight looks like it's going to be a scary thing. How does Curse want to engage a battle here?
We definitely have to pay attention to the timing on those teleports. Once again, if we have Voyboy coming in at the end of the team fight, it'll be disastrous for Curse, even though they do have the upper hand right now.
All right, and of course they are pushing forward. They do not have a Voyboy just yet, nor does the Vulcan team have a Shen. Again, as you mentioned, they can both teleport into the battle. Just one is quicker than the other. Curse has swept another lane, another wave, I should say, in the top lane. And again, they are backing off. They just do not find a way in just yet. Zuna lasts a little something, puts on a shield, and says, okay, boy, seriously, it's not funny anymore. Run away from me.
So if we do see some action up here on the top side, it would probably be Curse just trying to burst down a Baron since they have single target single target damage from Lay Waste and the percentage damages in both forms from that Elise that Rux has. They're just going right for it here.
Rux goes for the stun, doesn't quite land it, and it's not going to be in time. Sid will not be able to steal that Baron away. Great pickup there by Curse. The Vision game won by them. Reward, Baron Nashor.
That is the side bonus of having extremely fed Karthus. Not only can you put out tons of damage in a team fight, even after you die, but your Lay Waste single target can just burn down Baron Nashor. Great win for them right now. They can continue to do their solo pushes with Voyboy and then have the rest of the team up in that top lane. This time, Voyboy's going to have purple buff, so we'll see if that's going to be the deciding factor and he can now actually bully Zuna.
Voy is still adding items to his repertoire. It's looking like he's running towards Frozen Mallet in this case. Why Frozen Mallet in this matchup?
Well, he really wants to be able to keep Zuna in his sights so that if Zuna pulls off the Stand United, he can stun him and then slice and dice back away to try and get off his teleport and join the fight. That would be just an extra bonus. Plus, anytime you're up against Draven, there's no escapes right there, so all you really need is a slow. And if you can get one slow onto Draven and he doesn't have his splash up, then he's a dead man.
All right, dead man he just might be. Certainly, Curse have been doing more of the killing in this matchup so far. 12 to them, only 5 to Vulcan. We've only seen really 1 or 2 good fights from the Vulcan lineup. That one 4 versus 5 was about it. How can Vulcan claw their way into this matchup?
They have to get a good initiate here on Curse before Voyboy starts his teleport. If Psycho Sid just goes straight on, if he's able to get an ult onto Cop with the Zuna Stand United on top of him, if they take out that AD carry, that Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer combo from the backline of Curse immediately, then they could actually turn this one around, even though they are behind 7,000 gold or so.
Okay, let's see if they can do it then. They are trying to push forward. You can tell Vulcan look a little antsy, but at the same time, Baron buff is a scary thing to deal with right now. Singularity comes by. Again, a little bit of poke coming across. Sid has been stunned up. Will they go in on this one? You can see that they are going to jump in. The knockup is there onto that. Here comes the Channel. He's going to jump in. It's onto Cop. He's been exhausted, though. A lot of damage being put down. Barrier comes across as well. Cop is going to fall over. They trade 1 for 1 so far, but Voy has rejoined the battle. Now Vulcan are trying to run away. Of course, Requiem is still available. Vulcan has to watch their health bars in this one. Final Spark comes across. Saint very low. He is going to die. ManCloud finds one there. The team is still healthy enough that Requiem will not kill. They get a 2 for 1.
So even though it wasn't Vulcan initiating, they got that combo I was looking for right onto Cop. The Death Mark plus Stand United. They were able to take him out. That was huge threat gone. And then St. Vicious just on the front lines a little bit too long, taking that damage of Mandatory Cloud's axes in the back.
Okay, so there you go. That pickup is there. And we look as this game evolves. 7, almost 8,000 gold does separate these teams. Certainly this lead is still here, but I'm seeing itemization start to change at least a little bit here for Vulcan. Shen is going towards the Runic Bulwark finally.
That's going to be a huge boon for their team. Curse, though, they still have control of the map. Even though they lost that fight, they're able to walk around. They grab another global objective here with the Dragon, giving them some extra money. And they'll take that one, go home, and think about what they've done wrong here, because they had Cop just a little bit too close there. They thought they had Vulcan on the run, catching Psycho Sid, which was a good move, but they weren't able to get him down before the ulti was able to pop off, and they paid for that one.
Okay, so that is kind of what's happening right there. And, you know, we've seen a couple of team fights go Vulcan's way. There's a couple of other factors in this match. We've talked about the split match a whole lot. Zuna Stand United versus Voice Teleport. You mentioned Rux being a big playmaker as well on Elise. So I want to talk to Elise a little bit in this matchup because his build is not so supportive, right? We talked about auras before and whatnot, but Elise, haunting guys, sorcerer shoes.
The problem with this is that he's still extremely squishy, and since we Elise had a few balance changes that moved a lot of her damage from her range form to her melee form, he's going to have to actually get close to people if he's going to want to make really effective use of the spell penetration. So Rux's play right now is going to be really key to Curse, because if he goes down very quickly, then they're actually losing a lot of the damage that they banked on, since he's not the one picking up those defensive items, and he does have that Oracles, making him even more squishy.
Okay, so let's see if they can go and find anything to do. Look for Bloodwater. He's been taking a bunch of damage. Gets a crescendo off on 2, but the battle has begun. It's a lot of damage off. Psycho Sid looks to find Jackie, but oh my gosh, he just destroys himself in that battle. 2 for nothing to Curse.
This is another mistake that we've seen from Vulcan from early in the LCS, they split push without their teleport up on their split pusher. There was no Stand United for that fight. Curse jumped right in there. St. Vicious does not hesitate. They dive to the back line, and they get the kill. They get the turret. Now they can push in on the inhibitor turret, and they just send Saint back to deal with this Shen that's been split pushing.
And it's getting lower and lower, that turret. It's down to about half health, but there is Saint stopping him up, but it's now onto Jackie. Jackie takes a bunch of pain. He does fall down. Smithy does find the kill, but they trade a turret for it. That's not the best thing in the world. Looks like the rest of Vulcan will be able to pan out of this one. We've seen Shen in the bottom corner. He's gotten away from Saint. No deaths there. But again, a turret for a kill that tends to go in Curse's favor.
An inhibitor turret for a kill. That is the best kind of turret to trade for right there, especially with Baron having another minute and a half on cooldown. It's fine because the map control doesn't mean as much at this point. If you get that one crack into Vulcan's base already opened, then that's an easy trade here for Jackie's life.
Okay, so that has been working for them so far then. Great job by Curse on the pushes. Zuna is actually waiting in the wings nearby to Saint. I don't know if he's... Actually, he does have teammates coming. He will look for the taunt here at the last second. Pushes on forward. There's the Q. Saint hasn't been watching. He's still not reacting to this. He's trying to run away, but here comes Bloodwater. He's got the slow. There's the knockup from Saint. Can they chase him down? He's running and he can get away.
So that was perfectly played by Zuna, even though it didn't come to anything, because he waited till the last second when he thought Saint would be looking at his item shop, which he was, and then he used the taunt once Saint finally realized it, so he got that extra few seconds of semi-CC, but nobody else close enough to finish him off.
All right, well, nice try there by Vulcan. Of course, the tanky Saint, not the easiest thing to kill. Seems like that has been the case here. Smithy on the right-hand side, just trying to farm up, having a decent game for himself. He does have his own death cap. He is scaling up decently. But I have a question for you in the late game, though, as we're getting there. Even if Vulcan does catch up in gold, can you even deal with Karthus and Caitlyn in the end game?
So we just saw how Vulcan would want to deal with Karthus. Picking him off on the side is the perfect way. If Smithy's able to get a pick on Jackie, explode him, and then have the team not have to fight in that area, that would be the perfect situation for Vulcan here. The only thing is, Jackie's got 723 AP to Smithy's 399, so he is just a beast right now. Even if they do burn him down, the Requiem is going to hit you no matter where you fight.
That is going to be pretty brutal there. We're seeing the battle start up. The inhibitor down to about 1/3 health. The stun lands onto Smithy. This could be bad for him. Another turret goes down, though, on the middle as Zuna is still split pushing. But Kopp has, of course, destroyed the inhibitor. So, inhibitor for a turret. Kopp and the rest of Curse just seem to find these trades going in their favor over and over.
Well, that one is really Vulcan don't want to fight without a turret. They're definitely on the back foot here, and they need every little bit of help that they can get. Fighting at an open inhibitor, extremely dangerous for them unless they were able to catch out one of those high priority targets and completely burst them down. If they get either Kopp, Jackie, or even Rux, then that would be something to move on to. They had Rux before, but you have to pay attention to the cooldown on his repel. You don't want to get baited in by that squishy Elise that's just going to go into the rafters for another 2 seconds.
Okay, so target selection definitely important here for Vulcan. They're starting the Baron dance once again. Of course, it has respawned here. Smithy on the other side looks and finds a little bit of St. Vicious there with the light, with the Lucent Singularity, I should say. Rux is sweeping out wards, though. That is gone. Curse, again, have vision control over Baron, but there's an Oracles on both sides here. Bloodwater, another ward over the wall. Sid is now the split pusher right now. A different ninja pushing in the top-hand side. Zuna does still have the ultimate, but Void does have teleport.
And Curse really just want to make use of this Oracles right now. Try and force Vulcan into another bad spot with that vision game. It worked out for them so well the first time where they got that free Baron. They still have unbelievable Baron damage on this team here. And you can see Rux going in to get that last ward. This is going to be Vulcan crunch time right now. They have to be able to sneak some vision in here somehow.
Well, right now, though, the only person sneaking around really is Shen, but it's Curse. They're going to start up on the Baron Nashor right now. It is alive. Of course, so is Dragon, but they've got everyone there. Voice kind of baiting around on the other side. It's down below 1/4 health, and Curse, again, an unanswered Baron. Dravenel comes across, and they go, ah, crap, we missed another one. And Vulcan now forced to run away as Zuna just quietly split pushes on the side.
Yeah, that Baron just melts, because not only does Elise have % damage, but we have the passive on Jarvan, too. That's going to be 10%. Maxes out at 400 every 6 seconds there. Vulcan, again, they hold onto their stand united, though. They don't fight something that they can't win, and they're waiting at this top turret. I would expect them to make their final stand at this top inhibitor turret, though. They can't give another inhibitor down in their base, or else Curse are just going to flood through the gates.
Okay, so Zuna has recalled back, Voice sent to the bottom. They've got some time of 5 versus 4. We saw something like this before where Curse started the fight and it ended up bad for them when they engaged underneath a Vulcan turret. Let's see if Vulcan can get the same thing to happen right here. They're trying to wave clear. Jackie is trying to poke, and this is not looking actually the best for Psycho Sid. He's taking a bit of pain. Zuna is just tanking on the front lines, but they see that Void Boy's pushing on the right-hand side. They've actually got a 5 versus 4 here. If they start to engage, they just are afraid of the Baron buff and the Wall of Pain.
Now Zuna is with the rest of the team because he wants to be able to start it off, initiate with a taunt onto one of these high priority targets so they can get that 100% burst down. But that means Void Boy down bottom here, there's not even a inhibitor up, so he can go straight onto the Nexus turret.
And they're going on in. Zuna gets the taunt. He lands it on the Cup. Look at the damage output there. Will Cup fall over? He's been ignited. Sid wants it. He has the death mark. Is it going to be enough? The Solari shield keeps him alive, and they trade back. They've got Nijaki. 1 for 1 so far. There's the Requiem. 4 alive for Vulcan, but Zuna's low. There's the push in a Man Cloud. He's going to fall over. Now they've got the power play. 4 alive versus 3. Smithy gets caught up. Rux puts a bunch of damage, but the shield keeps him alive, and Rux will retreat from this battle. Still 4 surviving for Curse right now, though their health bars are low. Can Vulcan turn this around? Another turret falls over. They've got minions flooding in from the top and bottom of their base. Here comes the home guard Zuna. Can he find anything? Cop just healing so magnificently back up, above half health, clears out the wave, and Curse just destroy Vulcan's base.
Again, what was the body count for Curse? Just 1, Jackie. Karthus going down. They don't care at all. They'll do that every single time. He still gets off all that damage. Since he got fed early, it doesn't matter if you kill him anymore. It's not going to phase him at all. St. Vicious, you have to shout out in that fight with a great save onto Cobb, cataclysming back over to him so he could rocket of the Iron Solari and literally save the last few ticks of damage.
A beautiful job there by that Curse team, and again, Dragon is theirs. They've only lost 1, and that was basically a steal from Sid. Otherwise, I gotta say, the game for Curse, as far as map control goes, has been absolutely on point. I don't really think they've made a single objective mistake here all game.
They've done a great job of calling the shots, making decisive moves as well. As soon as they got full vision of the first Baron time, went in there, burned him down quickly. Jackie now, not only with that blue buff, but he also has that Elixir of Brilliance going to add on. He's almost cresting 800 ability power now. Plus, he's already got the penetration from Void Staff, so that's pretty much just going to wreck your team. That's all you can say.
Yeah, that's hurting pretty hard. You can compare to the 402 ability power from McSmithy, and you're definitely seeing numbers that are larger than another, certainly, as the case stands, because counting is hard, and so is whatever you actually call it when you compare numbers to each other. It's not counting. I can't do English. But Zuna does find St. Vicious. St. puts a shield on, so does Zuna, and no one takes any damage. The Sunfire Caves are burning down minions at least, and actually Zuna does find a bit of a lead there. The On-Fire Ninja does seem to do a little bit more, but Curse are pushing in. This bottom lane inhibitor has still available for assault. The 5-on-5, Saint goes to initiate, doesn't quite find anything. Zuna in the front, misses taunt. A shield comes off, and Bloodwater tanks the Caitlyn ultimate here, but minions are flooding into the base. The inhibitor looks like it's going to go fall. That is now 2 dead inhibitors in Vulcan's base. The next minion waves will get bigger and bigger as time goes on, as these super minions flood in. Vulcan are just forced to defend. No major objectives are available, but that top lane certainly can be under question soon.
Vulcan, they really did play this switch up pretty well, too. I mean, you have to shout out, at least these guys playing their alternative roles played those roles well. We had Psycho Sid in the jungle making moves with his very offensive carry build. He's actually been able to burst down Cop several times here, and he only barely got away the last team fight. Now we're having Curse move in on this last inhibitor turret, though.
And they're going to look for a little something, but they just don't quite find the damage they need as the waves do get cleared out by the Vulcan lineup. Spiderling comes across, deals a bit of damage, and the siege will continue. Baron buff has timed out by this point, but they are still ready to keep on pushing forward. And here we go. Again, pressure onto the turret. Cop looking for some damage. Initiate goes on to expand. He's going to fly just immediately. Mancloud's going to drop as well. So much damage coming out from the Curse lineup. Psycho Sid trying to chase down Cop. He will not do that. 3 dead for Vulcan. Doesn't even look difficult for Curse right here. This is their game.
They're able to take out this last inhibitor, and Zuna is just feeding them one more kill right here. Valiant effort. He does go down as well, like the noble samurai he is.
Indeed, and there we go. The Nexus turrets are going to fall. Curse up 1-0. trying to get away from that 4th place position they've been for so many years, and they're going to go up 1-0 in the 3rd place match. They've got one more to go.
Great start for Curse right here. They really played a very well-calculated game, like you said, going after all the objectives as soon as they were able. Really well executed.
It really, really was. They had a great match right there, and it looks like just a bit of a return to form. The old sort of guard, the old top 4, right? And I realize that's sort of been shattered now at this point because of how well Vulcan and GGU especially have been doing so far this weekend. But sort of that old guard where they were sort of calculated games. They never looked shaken. You know, a couple rough fights maybe, but it never kind of broke their concentration, and they controlled the map. That's what Curse looked like. They looked controlling, and they were playing their game confidently.
It makes it so much easier to control the map when you do have the threat of a really fed Karthus early too. I mean, you have to say, Jackie getting that strong early was really impressive, considering he started out in that 2-versus-1 lane, so it's kind of hard for him. But again, the Vulcan team that did the role switches to try and catch him off guard, again, they played well in those roles. We had Zuna on Shen beating Voyboy. In CS at least, and that's somebody who prides himself on his solo 1-versus-1 lane matchup. So that was very impressive, I have to say, from all these Vulcan players. They're very adaptable players.
They are indeed. So guys, coming up, it's going to be episode 2 in the battle for 3rd place. Curse looks to shut out Vulcan and walk away with $15,000. Plus, Martin's Mega Zero will join us to break it all down. Don't touch that browser.